Hi everyone. While I wait for people to join, I might as well do all of the selling myself stuff out of the way. So if you're interested in coaching with me, the links to my website will be at the bottom in the description. If you're interested in any personalized tarot readings or any kind of wax melts, if you're from the UK or interested in any kind of spellsy stuff, Katie's Etsy will also, and her YouTube will also be in the description because she does all of that stuff. If you're interested in knowing about my second channel, that will also be in the bottom. It's going to be a mindset but non-LOA based mindset channel, mostly aimed at guys because obviously I'm a guy, but you know, there will be things in there for females as well if you're interested. And yeah, I think with all that out of the way, let's get into any comments and questions. So yes, please. So Nath H says, all right, man, howdy goey, howdy, how's it going? Yeah, apologies for not having a thing up to say that we were going live today. Every time I do it, the camera messes up and I have to close it and then reopen it, and it's just a faff. So I just thought, just going to go live. People know the times, hopefully, and I'm just going to go live. So yeah, that's why there was no notification. Yeah, like I said, all the links will be in the description of this video when it's posted. I don't know if you guys can see the description now while the live's actually live. I can't see the description, but I don't know if that means you guys can't either. But when it goes live, it'll all be there. Juicy Jules says, good evening, Matt. Hope you are well. I'm very good. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Katie will be in a minute. She's just making drinks and doing stuffs. Random Name says, howdy, everyone. Howdy, Random Name. How's it going? Glad to have you here. Glad to have everyone here, for that matter. Kiati, howdy, Kiati. It's been a long time. Says hello. Hello to you too. Rick Farr says, good evening. Howdy, Rick. Howdy, Rick. How's it going? I can't speak very well today, as usual. Nath H said, had a day, to be honest. My brain is trying to tell me my SP is sleeping with someone else, nothing else, and I'm trying to deal with this, and it's making me sad. Not in a relationship, but yeah. Okay, so in this kind of instance, I would advise that you, what would I advise you do if your brain won't stop? I'd find out the root cause. Why is your brain like trying to make that the thing that you're focusing on? What are you gaining from it by thinking of it? Kind of get to the bedrock of everything. And yeah, do your best to kind of just let it go as best you can. I know it's not quite that easy, but you have a choice on what you focus on. You either focus on undesirability or you focus on the desired end. I'd advise going straight to the desired end if you can switch that narrative. Other than that, maybe do some things to distract yourself a little bit to get your mind not thinking of that. Thank you very much. And hopefully you'll be good to go. And this apology is not the best, but it's one of those things. It's like just telling people to just not think of something is not quite what people want to hear. But sometimes it is just a case of that. I know it's not that easy though.
Hey.
Random Name says meditation also helps to calm the mental chatter. Yeah, that's true as well. You can give meditation a go. Sit there, focus on your breathing and stuff. Juicy Jules says, hi, Katie. Katie's obviously already come in and said, hey. How have you guys been enjoying,
Sorry, I was just trying to move the cushions.
That's right. Have you guys been finding the recent polls that I've been doing, like with the tarot readings, asking people's opinions, the spells, the subliminals and stuff like that? I mainly do them just to find out more about my sort of audience, see what you guys are quite interested in. I was actually pleasantly surprised, to be honest, about some of the answers that I got. So if we go just for, Ashley Lewis says, hello. Howdy, Ashley. And then Ashley Lewis also says, love them. Which part did you love? But
the polls.
Oh, the polls, yeah.
I guess that was your question.
Yeah, it was, yeah. That's good. I want to do more of them, and I thought I'd do some different topics because I've never spoken about spells on my channel once, and obviously I haven't really spoken about tarot much. I've done a video on them, tarot, sorry, but I haven't done it much. But yeah, a lot of people, 32% said that they loved spells, which was quite interesting to me, actually. I thought that was quite a high number. Subliminals, 41% said they loved them, and 64% of people saying I enjoy tarot, but I don't let it dictate or control me. So actually quite positive towards like enjoying them. I do have something coming out very soon. I say coming out. It's basically going to be codes and I believe a promo code. I still need to confirm. I'm pretty sure there's a promo code for a very, very good subliminal app that I've been using myself, and I actually love it. I think it's great. So when I've got all the codes and the promos and everything for it, I'll release that for you guys. I've been speaking to someone about doing like a sponsorship-y kind of thing, but
oh, you're on top chat.
I'm on top chat again.
Top
Bollocks.
chat.
But the providing you with the promo codes and stuff isn't so that I get paid. It's literally purely because I actually genuinely love the app, and I think you guys can make really good use of it. So once all that's come through and I have the links and all that lot and all the discount codes that I need, I'll be announcing that for you guys because it's actually really cool. Some really interesting subliminals, actually. I really like it. I don't think I've missed anyone.
That one there wasn't there
Oh,
a
okay.
second ago. I think it's because it had the word alcoholic in. It's really funny. So if it's on like top chat rather than live chat, it hides any comments that have anything like hate, like the word hate, or like any swear words or any like words in it. So sometimes that's why we miss them. But most of the time we spot that we're on like top chat rather than live chat and change it quite quickly. But if we ever miss your comments, we are not ignoring you. It's because YouTube is weird.
And by we, she means she, because I'd never notice it. But yeah, Nathan H says, yes, I'm 40-year-old alcoholic. She's clearly not interested in him, though. Oh, that's good. And you can fuck off then. It'll be gone in no time. Kiati says, I had a question on how to ignore seeing social medias when manifesting SP, as I'm occupied with this thought often that my SP won't like it if I won't use his Snap and Insta story.
If I won't see his...
Oh, if I won't see it. Sorry, not use it. Okay, so he is not separate from you. You are creating assumptions before anything's even happened. It's he sees my snap after hours and sometimes not at all. How to deal with this? Just set some boundaries. Just put yourself first. Fuck this SP until he conforms to the way you want. You're bending the knee. And the only reason I'm saying it like this is because I've been working with this person for a while. You're bending the knee every time. You're like, oh, what if he gets annoyed? What if he does this? What if he does that? What about you? Put yourself first. He doesn't answer you for hours, so why should you bother giving him any attention? Until he conforms to the way that you want him to be, there is no reason for you to justify bending the 3D to his benefit. Right now, you are dealing with the old version. Then the version of you in this relationship will not have this version in their life. Therefore, if you are to operate as your new version, you will not give this version any attention either. I know that you're trying to push the 3D. I know it. And I want you to stop making excuses for it and to listen to me. Fuck him until he conforms to the way that you want him to be. Other than that, he's not going to change. If you keep giving into this like version and accepting this version of him, he will always stay as this version. Grr.
One thing I was just going to say is I don't tend, me personally, and a lot of people I know, don't really tend to notice when people view their social media, really. Like, unless you are searching for someone in particular to check your social media, you're not really like bothered about like who's viewed it and when they viewed it and stuff like that. So by not viewing it, you're not going to give any impression to him. Like that's one thing that I'd say, like, yeah, I wouldn't think, oh, that person stopped looking at my social media, therefore they don't like me anymore. I would just be like, oh, they've not seen it, whatever sort of thing. So I don't think you have anything to worry about, in the sense that if you don't see it, he's not going to suddenly think, oh, she's completely lost interest, she's never going to talk to me again, la la la. I think taking a break from it yourself would be better for your mental health than the tiny chance that you not seeing it will make him think. But also the other thing is, I find personally with men that if they are looking out for that kind of thing and you're not checking their social media, they'd be like, hold on a second, she's not looked at my social media for like 10 days. I'm going to ask her what she's doing. And I feel like actually not checking their social media will make them reach out more.
As that was the point I was going to make. If you're going by sort of general 3D assumptions that like hold true, men do want your attention. Therefore, when you don't give it to them, they start to chase you. I've said this on so many occasions. Take your power back, live in the end, and they will start to chase you. You cannot be the chaser and be chased at the same time. It is imperative that you drop this need to make sure that everything's perfect for him. It is imperative. Put yourself first and he will start to do the same. If he knows that you're in his back pocket at all times, he's going to do whatever the hell he wants until he just decides to conform, if you want to go by a 3D basis. But the only reason it's that way is because of the assumptions about yourself and about the situation. Stop it. Just drop him momentarily. I don't mean you have to drop him forever, but just stop doing silly things like trying to check the social medias and all that, because it's not benefiting you. Dr. Cody Crockett says, "Hey Matt, you're a musician, right? Ever consider adding affirmations to your music, that you create?" See, this is quite an interesting factor. My music is I have no control over my music whatsoever. I basically joined a band who was already pre-set up. They already had, I think, like 12 instrumentals made up. They just needed a vocalist, and they are very much more lyrically clever than I am. Like, if I was to write a song, it would be more like the shit that you find in the charts. You know, the stuff that's rhyming, like really simple words like bat and that. They're like very lyrically clever. Therefore, I'm not allowed to go near the lyric pad. I have to stay away. I basically, when I go there to do mapping, I sit on the sofa. They're like, Matt, you're up. They tell me what I say. I do it. I sit back on the sofa and that's it. I have no involvement in anything. So, as good as of an idea as it is, I wouldn't be allowed to. And I also like it that way because it means I have to do less work as well. Random Name says, "Oh, one question, Katie. How do you feel about general pick a card readings, and would you be open to doing them yourself?" Sell yourself fully.
Actually, I have done like one for the very first time like that, because usually the way that I like to do the readings is I ask a question and I like basically shuffle through until I get the given answers. I know some people like to pick answers. I like the given answers. But one thing I have done recently, I don't know how many days ago, because I've been a little bit all over the place with other things, basically, is so I did like the 2 piles kind of one. So you chose either one pile or the other, and that was your sort of like what you needed to hear at the time. So I do like a mixture, if that makes sense. And hopefully soon, when I get my like butt around to doing it, they're going to be up on my Etsy actual personal readings. But for the time being, the only one that's up there comes as like a big package thingy with like basically everything you need to assist you along the journey of the reading. But yeah.
However, if you are interested in any personalized readings, check out her Instagram, which is linked in the description, or her YouTube channel, or her YouTube channel, I suppose you could comment, but either check out her Instagram or Etsy.
Or my TikTok. I also have a TikTok. But yeah, no, the other thing I was going to say is if there is like kind of like burning questions, let me know and I will ask them and then just post it, as long as you don't mind the answer being posted, as like a starting point. Because yeah, I do personal readings for everybody I know. I just arrive at their house and I'm like, let's ask tarot what you need to know right now, and they're like, oh, okay. But yeah,
I've even let her do them for me. Shock, I know. But it's quite funny actually. I've only really let her do like one properly. Like, she's like, ask a question, I'll ask some dumb question and then like get an answer. But there's actually one that I did get her to do for me properly. And obviously you guys know like where I stand with tarot. I definitely don't think that it's the end all be all. I think it's a good fun if you want it to be. Like my chicken legs. I do that every time. But weirdly and scarily, the reading that she did was exactly kind of what I needed to hear, and was exactly what has kind of somewhat happened. Obviously, it was a positive reading, so that's why I'm glad that it's happened, and it was like enforcing what I already wanted. But it was one of those weird things where it's like too coincidental. And same with some spell stuff that she's been doing. So I've been sort of sitting there wondering, like, do I actually know what I'm talking about? But I will be doing a discount sort of thing around Halloween that will involve some of KT's services. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but if you're interested in any of my services,
yeah, like the 15th now.
Yeah, but if you're interested in any of my services, you will be getting a considerable discount by incorporating hers. So stay on the lookout for that if you're interested in personal readings and stuff. Chloe Harvell said, is that Harwell? Harvell, sorry. Is that, I need my glasses. I manifested my SP and today my brother mentioned him. Is it a good sign or just a coincidence? Well, I'd say take it as a sign. If it makes you feel good, if it makes you feel like it is a sign, absolutely take it as a sign. There's no reason to be like, to say otherwise, really. You choose the meaning to everything, so why not choose a meaning that benefits you? Rick Farr says, partial disaster yesterday. Got a text from SP saying she is seeing someone else. Frankly, I'm not accepting it. Is it best to ignore SP whilst improving SC and waiting for reality to materialize? Yeah, so apologies. I haven't been in the Discord like the past day or so. I've been just very busy, really. But hopefully Katie sort of put some good messages
I
there.
put in like a little reply to that. So one thing that I mean, I haven't personally been in that situation, but one way that I think you could view this as third parties are there to teach SP's lesson.
Yeah.
So they appear in their life because of the fear that you have that they're going to, sort of thing. But they're simply there as sort of like a space holder to show them that actually they need you. They don't need this person, this third party that's come into their life. They're just holding your space just for the time being, because whatever in the world needs to, come together. And the only thing that they will ever take from that third person is that they were no good for them. They were just absolutely shit in comparison to you. They were just there to teach them a lesson, to teach them what they didn't want, what they didn't need, what was bad for them, and then off they go, and in you go. Sort of thing.
So always see the positives that you can. Make reasons like that for yourself to be beneficial, because you can make a positive out of anything, to be honest. It sounds horrible, but you really can. Anything negative. Like if my mum was to die today, I'd be like, oh, I ain't got to go up north anymore. So you can always make really like positive things out of anything.
I hope your mum's not watching.
Just don't die, innit? Like, whatever. But yeah, so actually do what Katie says, make a positive out of anything. But I would say that in this instance, this is probably obviously old fears, old things coming up. You can use it as like a learning curve, see if there's anything about your self-concept that could have potentially created this. But yeah, I would just say to just not give it attention. Kind of like what I said to Kiati a minute ago. The current SP is not your desired version's person. So there's no reason why the current there's no reason why the current version, if you were in your desired end, this SP wouldn't exist. Therefore, in your attention, they shouldn't exist really. It should be only the new version that you want to exist that should exist. And therefore, you don't give this any attention. You just keep reverting back to the new one until this version conforms to match that version. See what I mean? But yeah, I wouldn't really give it much attention if you can. Just use it to learn if you need to. But other than that, I wouldn't let it ever get to you. Can you read that? I haven't got my glasses on. I should really go.
Which one?
That one. Is it like Vinicius? I don't know. Alves. I'm just going to go with Alves. I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't read the tiny writing. It says, hello, guys. How are you two doing? Very good, thanks. How are you doing? Can I just affirm occasionally without visualizing, such as whatever I eat, I lose weight, still work, kisses from Brazil. Yeah, so you can obviously create the assumptions that work for you yourself. I do find with assumptions like that kind of go, because there are laws that we have to abide by, the law of gravity, the law of thermodynamics, those kind of laws. I always find that one kind of interesting because that goes against the law of thermodynamics. Therefore, I don't even know if it will work, because I don't know if you can use a law to cancel out a law. Because if I was to say that gravity doesn't exist, that doesn't just make gravity not exist. So very interesting one. However, under normal circumstances, yes, you can just affirm for the things that you want. You don't have to visualize for everything. I would recommend utilizing good times like morning and night when your subconscious mind is most receptive to affirm, because then obviously it'll be able to take it in and push it out much better. But as for that specific affirmation, I don't know what the result of that would be, purely because it does go against the law of thermodynamics. You can't just eat endlessly and never put on any weight when you taking into consideration that law. So I can't really answer based on that affirmation itself, but you can sort of affirm stuff that you'd lose weight easily, or like you've got a fast metabolism, and therefore like that stuff that can come into play. But I don't exactly know for that affirmation itself. I am says, hello everyone, howdy. Stop checking, stop reacting. This is spiraling. Ignore the 3D. Focus on the end result. Focus, guys. We got this. Absolutely. Better motivated than I am. Fandom Geek says, thank you for addressing my primary concerns in that call. You're very welcome. Hopefully you can make good use of it. Kiati says, thanks for the detailed response. Really needed this forward push from you guys. You're very welcome. I know I was a bit hard on you, but that's because I can see the potential in all of you, and it annoys me when you guys ask questions that you know the answer to. Nath H says, currently revising our relationship from start to finish because a circumstance is a 3P approached me in August and I fell for it, but Me and her weren't technically together, if that makes sense. We carried on with our relationship until recently, then boom. Okay, so like situations come up. Yeah, if revision is good for you and you enjoy doing it, absolutely. If not, you can just kind of decide that this is the end of the old shit. I'm going to go forward with the new stuff. I don't think this video is going to get monetized because I've sworn a lot, but you can just decide that this is it and then forward, no more of the old stuff. All of it stays back there, or you can revise it.
The camera's in a weird place, I think, as well.
Ever?
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's because like you're sat in the center, if you know what I mean, of the laptop.
That
yeah,
better?
Yeah, that's better.
It's only because I can't see the stuff very well.
Would you like?
No, it's
would
fine.
You like
I can
to switch sides?
No,
We've
it's
never
right.
done it
No,
the
it's
other
right.
way.
It's right.
No?
Honestly, it's
Okay.
fine. Dr. Crody Crockett did laughing faces. What did I respond to your thing? Matt, you're a musician. Oh, about the yeah. No, I have no control. Sandip says hi. Sorry, messaged again further down. Hi, can I make my parents and her parents agree to our marriage? Absolutely. What I would advise in this situation, because I know a lot of people that I've dealt with that have had this kind of situation, they're all like, I need to convince my parents. I need to convince their parents. I need to convince all of these lot. That's all the middle. If you just go straight to the end of having the marriage, in order for that marriage to happen, they must approve of it. Therefore, it wouldn't happen. Therefore, it will happen. So, I would advise you just go straight to the end result of already being married to this individual, and everything will work out along the way. Random name says, "Hey, I managed to attract my ex back. One of the first birds before land I experienced personally. Lol. Hey, I managed to attract ex back. One of the first birds before. Did you say something above that's irrelevant to this?
I wonder if it's replying to
that was the person
brother that mentioned their name.
Oh, okay, possibly.
Possibly.
You got a good old memory.
I
don't remember anything. I don't remember shit.
My hair's doing something weird.
Jade Lamb says, sometimes I cry because I miss him. I don't assign any meaning to the crying and keep affirming my self-concept. When I calm down, I start to affirm for SP. It helps a lot for that kind of mindset. That's good to hear. At least you're not dwelling in it too much and you're accepting that you need to release it, but you also don't need to dwell on it. So I'd say that that's fine. I think you're doing all right. Because we all miss things. What do I miss?
What do you miss?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. Jay says, last week I eventually spiraled after ignoring triggers a few times and reacted to 3D and my SP blocked me. How do I not feel the circumstance is permanent, even though I know in theory it's not? So again, and I've been using this a lot lately just because it's been working really well for me with my own things. And I think it's like just really helpful is whatever you're experiencing now is not in your end result. Therefore, it does not deserve any of your attention. If you were the person with your desire, you would not be worrying about the circumstance because therefore it wouldn't exist. So become the person who already has it, redirect your focus to it and let anything happening that is undesirable in the 3D just fizzle away and not mean anything. Don't assign attention to it because it doesn't deserve your attention, because remember, in your reality, it doesn't exist because it's an old story and you are currently occupying the new one. And it's just a case of redirecting your focus back to that place. You don't have to like convince yourself that it doesn't exist or that it's not the end all be all. If you just redirect focus, you're just going to impress a new story anyway. So you have a choice. Do you choose to focus on the undesirable or the desirable, and then make that choice to be in your favor? Verge says, hi, Matt. Howdy. Have you had experiences with thought transmission? As in, I have thought something and then someone else has done something to do with that thought? If so, then yeah, like that shit happens all the time. Like when you're thinking of a song and then someone else like starts singing it, or anytime you do an affirmation, that's thought transmitting because the person usually will refer that affirmation back to yourself. So I think thought transmission happens a hell of a lot. If there's something more specific that you mean, let me know. But if you mean just kind of that stuff, like what you're thinking of something and then someone else talks about it or does it, or you say to them like, you love me, and they go, you know what, I love you, then yeah, I've had that stuff happen. Fandom Geek says, I also feel like it's so strange that I'm so blatant and will spill my guts on a public live, as seen in numerous lives, laugh my ass off, but will never have the balls to tell a coach or private friends. I think it's just that, like, there's probably two things to it. The first off being the safety of, obviously, you know that you're not going to get judged here. And if you do get judged, then I'll just tell them to shut up, as I've done in the past to certain people. And the other factor of, like, no one knows you. So Obviously, when it's a coach or like friends, they know you directly. It's just a bit more difficult. But no one here knows anything other than a black image and fandom geek as your name. Obviously, I do, but you know what I mean. Like no one else here knows who you are, so therefore you can just openly say anything you want, and you can get away with it, and no one will be able to like really do anything. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that actually opening up here is a little bit easier, really, than real life, because a lot of the time as well with real life, people have not only like a prejudgment, but then they have the initial judgment to what you're saying, whereas a lot of people in here are in very similar situations, so they have no sort of like preconception of you as a person or what you're going through, and then when you say it, they're like, oh yeah, you know, I've been like that, or I felt like that before, because yeah, a lot of us here are all in the same boat.
Exactly. Top FJS says, so as I've said previously, I can enter and maintain any state without affirming. So affirmation is unnecessary, right? But I don't trust it. I feel like I have my desire and no negative thoughts. I enter the state of she's always texting me, and I feel like she is always texting me. But what if I improve my self-concept without affirming? I have like 15 affirmations for SC. Which state should I enter? Also, is physical change part of SC? Okay, yeah. So affirmations, and I actually think I mentioned this in one of my videos like 2 or 3 days ago. Affirmations are not what manifests. What manifests is taking on the state of being this new version and placing your awareness on the thing that you want. So you don't need to affirm. You don't need to visualize, script, any of that. It just helps get people from where they are to where they want to be and thinking from that end. It helps put you in that state. So if you can just put yourself in that state, then that's absolutely fine. I enter the state of she's always texting me, and I feel like the only reason I've missed you, Ricky, is just because it's a big block. I'll get back to you in a second. She's always texting me, but what if I improve my self-concept without affirming? I have like 15 affirmations for self-concept. So you say, but what if I improve? So I'm not sure what that necessarily means. Like, what if I improve? Does that mean like, will she still text you if you improve your self-concept? What kind of do you mean by that? However, I would advise you just enter the state of already having your desire. What's up?
Oh, I was just seeing something move outside.
I would advise you just enter the state of already having your desire right now, regardless of whether it's texting her, whether it's regardless of your self-concept being where you want it to be. Take on that new person, walk with your chest up, your shoulders back kind of thing. Take on this new self-concept of being the operant power, being that sort of high-value person, and let the rest work itself out if you want to go that route. Or you can enter the state of already having your desire. If you can specify what you mean by what if my self-concept improve without affirming, because I'm not sure if you meant that or if you meant can it improve without affirming. So just let me know what you mean there. And I would say physical change is part of self-concept and kind of a desired end in itself. Like it's kind of a bit of both, because obviously it's self-concept, so it's the way you see yourself, as in like you can either see yourself as like attractive the way you are, or like those kind of things, or if it's something like a specific change, then it would be its own desired end. But you can obviously have an opinion of yourself that is a good self-concept opinion, and then therefore it will create this image in your mind that is better, regardless of whether or not it's changed. Oh, we have a new member. Jay has joined the YouTube membership. Thank you very much. There should be a link in the members only tab to the Discord group. If it's not, because I think it expires every 7 days, but I think I put it in there a couple of days ago. If it's expired, just drop me a comment either on here or on a different video or something, and then I'll send you a new link, or I'll post a new link for you to join. But thank you very much, Jay. Glad to have you part of the community. Ricky Farr says, thank you, Katie. I love the idea of third party teaching my SB how epic I am and showing her what she's missing. I'm not giving him any energy. He's helping me get what I deserve. Thank you. Exactly. You got this. I know you got this. And you're part of the community as well. So you've got loads of people on your side. The community is getting quite big now as well, actually, which is quite cool. Quite a lot of people talking and conversing with each other. So that's really nice to see. Fandom Geek says, cannot stay today, have some errands and homework today, leaving this note for me to know where I'm leaving off, 19-minute mark. No worries. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully you get everything done.
The next one.
Yep, see you next one. Thank you for joining. Grandpa Turtle says, hey, I don't care about SP anymore. Yay, but I keep pushing people that, but I keep getting people that like SP showing up. And then by fandom, I swear I just make up words. I just read a random word. It's nothing like what's actually been said.
You need your glasses.
I really do.
Where are they?
It's fine. We haven't got long till the live's over anyway. So But
we do.
well, half an hour. I made it half an hour without him. I can do another half an hour.
Okay.
But
Do you want me to just go and
no,
grab
it's
them?
fine.
Are you sure?
You keep interrupting me. Shush. That's good. I'm glad you're not too fussed about your SP anymore. And yeah, I suppose the reason that other people are showing up is probably don't do that face. You all heard that I was trying to speak, and she was just like, "You sure?" I've already said no, but she's like, "You sure? I can get him. I can get him." Now I'm interrupting myself. It's because of obviously all the focus that you would have put on that specific person, and therefore now things of a similar nature would show up. This is the way that law of attraction people will usually explain how you get your desire. It's like you'll either get them or something similar to them, and then that's just you got to deal with that from the universe. So yeah, it doesn't really mean much. It just means that all the focus that you were putting in is kind of being heard in a weird way. Final Geek says, "Bye all. Remember, you have it all." Absolutely. Thank you very much for showing up.
And we have a new member.
Oh, we do. Sweet. Mrs. Foxy has joined the membership. Thank you very much, Mrs. Foxy. Glad to have you as part of it. Same thing applies if you join the members only tab. In the members only tab, there is a Discord link. If you join that, it will take you to the community. If that's expired, drop me a message or a comment, and I'll put a new link in there. And yeah, thank you very much for joining the membership. Glad to have you as part of it. Rick Fast's second question: do you think an improved SC is felt by SP in the 4D, then pushing them in your way in the 3D? Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Like people can sense when someone's better than they were. Like the amount, like you can just tell. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like you can. What's that?
Oh, somebody's commented with the exact same name as my manager, and I was just like, "Is it you?"
Yeah, they can definitely feel that energy shift. 100%. I'm all for that. Like in the 4D, I meant. Sorry. Random Name says, how do you guys distinguish visualization and daydreaming? I know some coaches say there is a huge difference. I personally don't see a difference because the way daydreaming puts me in the end low. I think the only way that I would distinguish them is one of them is you're like consciously doing. You go aside to do a visualization, whereas daydreaming you kind of just do while you're like walking or while you're just chilling, watching a show or at school or something. I think the only thing that separates them is whether or not you're choosing to do it or not. I don't think the results are any different, really. I think maybe the results actually, sorry, I think in a grand scheme of things, they aren't any different. The only reason visualization probably has more success is because usually you're specifically going there to visualize. Therefore, you're probably getting in that calm, relaxed state and letting your subconscious mind be receptive. But I don't think the act of daydreaming is any different to the act of visualizing other than the state in which you're doing it from.
I think, sorry, I was just going to say, I think when you like randomly involuntary, like have a daydream, involuntarily have a daydream, then it's different. But if you are like sort of leading your daydream, it's the same thing. Because I have like daydreams where I just sat there and like I have a thought and then it leads to another thought and then it leads to me like visualizing it in my head and then I'm just sat there in it. But I'm kind of like leading them from one to the other sort of thing. And then sometimes you'll just be sat there and be like, oh, I wonder what happens if this happens. And then you go off on a massive tangent. But yeah.
Nick H says, I totally forgot about absolutely everything from start until last night, and it made me spiral today. To be honest, I'm rewriting because there's things that I would have liked to be different. Yeah, if that's the case, then absolutely, like, if you want to do it, do it. There's things that I'd like to do differently, but I choose to just operate under, I'm not going to bother with the past. The past is the past. From now on, I'm going to be a different person. That's how I like to do my stuff, but by no means does that mean that, like, you can't revise. Fandom Geek says, actually, I lied, laughed my ass off back really quick. I'm going to have to kick you from the stream just to make sure that, like, it's genuine goodbye. Tips on getting a TV show back on air. If I visualize it, it seems like I'm spoiling it for myself. You could affirm that the TV show is back on. Or you could even visualize yourself having a conversation with someone else, saying that it's back on. Basically, just create an end result as though it's already back on.
Or imagine, like, you know, what's the word? Like the loading screen kind of thing for a TV. Yeah. You know, like that little bit where
loading screen.
You know what I mean?
You mean the intro?
There you go. That's the word I mean.
The loading screen.
You know,
with little tips on how to watch it, like loading screen. If you use a sword, you can kill a dragon. It's like, thanks for the tip, game.
Well, you know exactly what I meant. So loading screen works as well, right? Anyway, so visualize the loading screen coming on the TV.
Yeah.
There you go.
Unless it's like a really stupid show that no one likes, then you're not allowed to bring it back on. Like EastEnders, if that's still around.
I think it probably is.
Ugh. I would never get that. Dun, 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 dun. It sounds like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, it does.
And it's really difficult.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate extenders.
If you keep, like assigning stuff to it, it's going to come into your life.
It's because I secretly love it. And then Phantom Geek also says, okay, I'm out, laugh miles. I'll take care, everyone. All right, bye-bye. Have a good time.
He's back.
Is he
Right
back
in the
again?
bottom of the...
Oh,
no,
God.
it's not. Sorry.
Oh,
I
okay.
read it wrong.
Why'd you get random name? I always get random name and Fandom Geek mixed up as well. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Ashley Lewis says, best technique to manifest money. It depends on what's like best for you, because I don't really care for visualization that much, but some people do. So it depends. First off, what you enjoy most and what you can feel it true to be most. And second off, I think for money, the best thing, and I use it as an example in a lot of my videos, is to ask yourself that question of, if I was rich, how would I handle this situation? Or how would I like occupy myself? How would I be thinking and feeling and all that kind of stuff? And that's really good because it gets you thinking from a state of being rich, and it's so easy. Like, I don't advise it because I don't want to be the reason that you guys have financial issues, but I shit you not, when I'm low on money and want more money, I spend money on stuff and just tell myself it's because I'm rich, I can afford it. And money always comes. I always, obviously, take that at your own discretion, but that's what I do to get money, and it has not failed me yet. Every single month, my business has earned me more money than the last month. And yeah, it's just, that's my way of doing money. Affirmations to sort of affirm that I am rich and wealthy. And then as I'm going through my day, how would my rich version of myself occupy here? How would we handle stuff and occupy it in that way? Doi Dulan, sorry if I said that wrong. Hey guys, how do you stay confident in your manifestation when you have no idea how it's going to happen, especially if there's a deadline? Okay, so I like to utilize the fact that I don't know how it's going to happen as a good thing. I like to sort of see it as it has infinite possibilities. Now, let's use money as an example. You can get money through a random check, a refund, a pay rise, early payment. Someone can give you money. You can find money on the floor. Money could all of a sudden lose all of its value when we start to use bottle caps as a new form of currency, and you have loads of bottle caps in your bin. There's loads of different ways that you can end up having infinite amount of money, and it's the same for your desire. There's infinite ways that it can come in. Therefore, at any moment, you are potentially going to have your desire. And I think that's a fun way of seeing it. Not necessarily a way to be more confident, but like, I think it's a very fun way to see it. The way to be, especially on a deadline, is more a case of just forget the deadline. I think if you're having a deadline and you're holding yourself to it, you make it more difficult for yourself. And I think, again, similar to what I said earlier, I didn't say about confidence, I can't remember what I said about, but you have a choice. You can either be unconfident, or you can choose to just trust in it, and you can choose to just redirect your focus to it already happening and impress your subconscious mind anyway. You don't need to be confident in your desire coming in. You just need to impress your subconscious mind. I can guarantee you that there's a lot of things in my life that I've consciously created that at the time I did not think was going to happen. I just kept redirecting my focus back to the end result more than the old story or the result that I didn't want, and it eventually came in. So to gain confidence, I suppose you could test it as well. But overall, just keep redirecting focus until things start to show up and prove to you that it does exist or that it's going to work. Juicy Jules says, bit of a girly question, so maybe Katie can help me out on this one. I get very emotional and triggered at the time of the month, and sometimes feel like I'm undone. Any good or progress? Any tips? I will leave this to you.
So first of all, just assure yourself that you cannot undo all of your hard work. All of the hard work that you've put in so far has been working. Therefore, you can't have a bad moment and undo it all, because you've already put the work in. So it's already working. I personally also get emotional and stuff like that. I like to just take time for myself. I like to ignore, like when I'm having really, really bad emotional days, I find something really distracting and just do that instead. Because I don't think that having a day off is any worse than sort of sitting and making yourself feel worse. Do you know what I mean? It's a much better option just taking a day off, taking your thoughts off of the subjects, taking your like mind away from everything, even if it's the entire week. That is better than just beating yourself up, because that's all we actually do when we get emotional. We don't sit there and go, oh, you know, I wish he didn't do that. Like, you have those thoughts, but you blame yourself. I always find, me personally anyway, I blame myself. So I just end up sitting there in my emotional state, and I might be emotional about something that was completely and totally out of my control, but I will still sit there and convince myself that I am the reason that I did that. I really upset my, like, I caused this massive thing, I did this to cause that, or whatever it is, and I will sit there and beat myself up. So in those instances where I am emotional and I'm not dealing with things okay, I just go away from it. Just leave it alone. Just let it be. You can't undo all your hard work because it's already working. It's already going through. It's already going through the motions. You can't undo something that you've done, basically. And yeah, just take yourself away from it for a bit. If, like, I don't know what it is that you're after or what it is that you're like focusing on right now, but just take your like entire thoughts, everything about it, and just put it away for a bit. Come back to it afterwards, and don't sit there and beat yourself up because you've done it wrong, or and also sit like, if something is really badly affecting you, when I say like take your like thoughts and stuff away from it, I don't mean just go, oh, bury that under there and deal with that later sort of thing. I mean, feel the emotions, let yourself get it out of your system, and then distract yourself sort of thing. I think that makes sense. I always ramble whenever I try and answer these questions and sort of like contradict myself in my own sentence. But yeah, what I like to do is just deal with the actual emotion itself, not the subject that's hurting me, deal with the emotion itself, and then just put it away. Get it back out when I'm done.
Hopefully that helped. Jade Lynn says, what is the difference between dwelling in the negative thoughts and crying to let out the emotions? So dwelling comes after the crying. If you're letting out emotions, if you're letting yourself release it all to get that initial frustration, anger, sadness, sorrow, whatever it is out, that's releasing. Anything past that, when it's being released, where you're still thinking about it, when you're still like, oh, woe is me, this has happened, how can I ever get my desire, and keep complaining and just like, making it worse, that's when you're dwelling. That's when you're staying in it unnecessarily. You've got to stay in it a little bit to release it, but once it's released, anything past that point is you just staying in it and dwelling. That's the differences. Ashley Lewis says, tip to become, bollocks, skipped, I hate when it skips. Tips to become a master at manifesting. See, this one is a funny thing. I mean, a lot of people say you can just affirm that you're a master manifester, which if you want to try that, you can try that. I think the way to become a master manifester is to test it, like really test it, learn what works best for you, like your process. Maybe you like affirmations more than visualization, and then keep doing it. What is quite common with people, and myself included sometimes, is they'll get the result or they'll start getting results and then they'll kind of just stop doing it. And obviously, yes, once it's an assumption, it kind of happens naturally. But a lot of people won't have it as like a full-fledged assumption. They'll get the result due to the hours worth of affirming that they would have done. Then they get it and they're like, cool, I'm done now. And then they'll just kind of forget that manifestation is a thing. A way to become a master manifester is to always have something that you're focusing on. You get your person, great. Now, what about your job? You get the job that you want, great. Now, what about your living condition? You get that, oh, great. Could you potentially improve your relationship? And you're always working towards something. There's always an end goal. And that's how you become a master at it, because you're constantly chasing, not chasing, but you're constantly going for the next thing and constantly getting it, therefore becoming a master at it. Top FJS says, it was a typo, sorry. I meant, what if I want to improve my self-concept? Not sure which state to enter here, as I can only one enter state. I don't know which one I should enter, for example. Well, you can be, you said something else underneath. I can enter the state of me being handsome and will feel handsome, or I can enter the state of me being pursued and irresistible. This is where I'm stuck. Can you not enter the state of being like handsome and being chased because you're handsome? Like, could that not be something you could try? Just because, yeah, I mean, or you could just step into the new state entirely. So amalgamate them as one thing. So you are handsome, like attractive person who has this person chasing you or people chasing you, and that looks like this certain individual. We're going to step into that state, step into someone who is chased, attractive, and all these amazing things. If not, then yeah, you can use your affirmations for them, or just step into each state like when necessary. When you think of your person, step into the state involved in the person. When you think of yourself or your like desired self, step into that state. Kiati says, I have good news that I have finally manifested this specific job after being persistent for over 3 months. Thanks a lot for your help. Yay!
Well done.
Everyone give a round of applause for that, because that was a very big desire. It was initially the desire that we were speaking about first. So congratulations. I'm really happy for you. That's good news. That's good news. I like that news. Top FJS also says, or should I make a list of affirmations and call it desired SC and enter the state of having my desired SC? I feel like not every self-concept affirmations will be reinforced, if that makes sense. And I should manifest fast, right? If I'm in the state 24/7. So yeah, essentially, the more you're in the state, the more like likely it is to manifest faster, because you're going to impress better, and you're not going to kind of keep yourself falling out of it. So it will manifest faster. I won't necessarily say fast, just purely because of like the way that the 3D, how it like needs to be put together. I don't want to promise things like that. It's not really in my niche to promise those kind of things. But yeah, it will definitely be faster. And what was the other thing? And so you can create all the list of affirmations if you want to, and then kind of create a person that would fit all of these characteristics, and then step into that person, and that'll get as many of them as possible. Or you can just try and use the affirmations and list them, or the ones that are most important. You can try, just play about with it, see what works best for you. Geetha says, hey, do you think we have to do anything, like take an action when you're manifesting, particularly when manifesting an SP? Like, I don't want to reach out or go out of my way to be noticed by him. So I don't think you have to. I think there are inspired actions. So if you're going to take an action, you will be inspired to do so, and you will just do it. I do believe that for SP specifically, that you shouldn't really take any action unless obviously you're already in a good situation. Like if you guys are obviously on great terms, and yeah, you can message them and stuff like that. But in no contact situations, I personally advise that you don't reach out, for a couple of reasons. One of them, you owe it to yourself to prove to your self-concept and to prove to yourself that it worked. And a lot of the time when people do reach out, if it's too early to reach out, like the 3D hasn't fully conformed, they then get triggered over the result that they get, and then spiral, and it still becomes a mess. So I advise that you just stick back from it and don't bother. With other desires, like for example, if you're looking at a dream physique, then yeah, you can take action while living in the end as well, like going to the gym, or going for walks and stuff. But that's because it's not really going to be met with much resistance. You're not going to obviously come back after a walk and all of a sudden be the version that you wanted to be, but you're also not going to come back from that walk expecting it and then feeling like crap because it hasn't happened, and therefore there's no spiral. I don't think doing stuff in the 3D is necessarily a problem. It's usually the reaction that you guys, not you guys specifically, but like people have when they don't get the desired end from that, like reaching out. And that's why I say to people that they shouldn't. But if you are meant to, you will have inspired action to do so.
I think as well, if you can look at the action that you're about to take and see absolutely no negative outcome, then I personally don't see a harm in it. But if there's even a slight doubt, like, oh, but what if he replies saying, don't talk to me, or any sort of doubt that you have about doing that action, then don't do that action.
Yeah, you are. Jay says, I was curious about manifesting from within a lucid dream. I did manage to lucid dreams once last week and did a couple of times, but do you have any thoughts on using lucid dreams to manifest? I have never, ever even attempted to lucid dream. I've never even looked into it. Obviously, I know the premise of it, but I have no comment to make because I don't really know. I don't know. So in all honesty, if there's another channel out there that has an answer on that, I'd recommend you look at their channel, but I don't have a substantial answer to be able to give it to you, and I'm not going to make something up because obviously then I'd just be lying to you. So yeah, sorry about that. Random Name says, sometimes I find that if you focus on something consciously, your mind will wander to what you want. Lol. I was spacing off at work and random daydream of my SP telling me he loves me popped up. That's good. At least it's not going the other way. So definitely take that as a win for sure. Jade Lynn says, and how do you cope with missing SP? The feeling is becoming...
That's so wrong. It's Jade Lamb.
Oh, Jade Lamb, sorry. There is a Jade Lynn, though, isn't there? I swear we've had something Lynn. Not in this chat, but I'm pretty sure there's a Jade Lynn. Oh, fuck. There's another one, I'm pretty sure. Apologies for saying it wrong. How do we deal with the cope with missing? So you're missing them because you need them. The only reason that anyone ever misses them is because a part of them is needing that void to be filled that was left when this individual left. So the way that you deal with missing them is to find out what it is that you miss and give it to yourself first and give it to yourself instead. Because if it's getting too overwhelming as well, I don't know how long you've been doing it for, or how long like the separation has been for. But if it's getting too overwhelming, then I would 100% say that you are feeding into a life without them more than you're feeding into a life without them with a hole in it than a life without them where you're happy and doing well, or even a life with them, like if you're living in the end. Because we don't miss things we have, so that kind of contradicts the living the end side. But also, when you have when you're given, for example, there's a weird example that I can give, but let's say I'm piss poor, I've got no money whatsoever, but my fridge is always full. I have access to anything I want to do at any point. I can go anywhere, I can do anything, but I just have no money. I'm not really going to notice the lack of money because I've given myself everything that money can provide. Very similar thing here. Obviously, yes, you may not have this person, but you can provide yourself the enjoyment of going out and doing fun things. You can provide yourself the communication with other people by having friends and stuff. And overall, you can create a life without this person that will take away the missing them. You're only missing them because you put too much of yourself into a life of having them, and therefore now you don't have them, you don't know what to do without them. So very long-winded thing. Short, basically just find a way to live without them while you wait for them to come back in, and then you'll start to miss them less and less.
Oh, you're getting spammed.
Well, how did you do it? Just report it, wasn't it?
Yeah, so if you report it,
Yeah.
and then
Pornography.
and then on the one underneath, if you hide user on this channel, and then they'll disappear.
Cool. Okay. Hopefully it starts to ease up too soon with the missing. I get it. Like, we miss things. I do understand, and none of it comes from judgment. But yeah, you just depend on them more than you should, basically. Didana says, is it possible to manifest physical appearances? Example, I want to look like Beyonce. Can I manifest to have her exact face? I don't really know. Like, yes, I believe you can manifest appearance changes. Whether or not you can have someone's exact face, I don't know. I think that might be a bit out of my realm of belief. Like I said earlier, there's certain things that I believe not go against LOA, but LOA has to abide by. That I'm not 100% sure. I mean, possibly, because obviously there are doppelgangers and there's people that look exactly like other people. But
yeah, there's something like 7 people that look identical to you around the entire world.
But I don't know, to answer your question, I don't know if you can have her exact face, but you can obviously, I believe that you can manifest appearance changes.
I don't really think that there's anything you can't have. So, like, I suppose part of the journey to having her exact face would probably involve cosmetic surgery, most likely, depending on how much you don't look like her, sort of thing. But I don't believe that there's anything that you can't get to. It's just the process, I guess, could be longer because you have to, there's like more steps. If you were just affirming that you had a really attractive face, you looked absolutely gorgeous, and every time you looked in the mirror you were like, yep, that's me, I'm gorgeous, and everything like that, there wouldn't be so many steps between your face and becoming gorgeous, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Potentially I can't see it not happening, but I can imagine that it would be a longer process, seeing as there would be a lot more steps involved.
Yeah, I didn't even think about plastic surgery. So there's me thinking about how it's going to work. See, I'm contradicting myself.
Yeah, you're just like, putting in some limiting beliefs right there.
I just forgot it was a thing.
But yeah, so I can't see that being an issue. I can't see, like, I just believe anything that you want, you will get. It just may take longer and be more painful, I guess, than just changing your face to what you perceive as beautiful.
Because we got to head off soon. From now, unless I ask you to comment something, or unless you have an absolutely burning question, if we could just stop with the questions, just so I can kind of get through them and then head off. Because again, as usual, we have not eaten yet. Rosary says, can you please give me advice on how to deal with bad skin? I've been battling acne and it's taken a toll on me. I break down every time I look in the mirror. How can I even manifest like this? Okay, so in this situation, I would get clear on what it is that you want. Obviously, you say you want clear skin, but what would that look like? How would you kind of think? How would you feel? What would you feel looking in the mirror? Just get clear on all those kind of things. Create scenes and statements that imply that that is the life that you're living right now. And in the morning and night, when your subconscious mind is most receptive, you're going to want to bring these scenes or statements to mind and loop them to the point where you feel that it's true for you in that moment right there. You feel the fulfillment of them being done, and then you let go of it for the rest of the day. Whenever you see yourself in the mirror, ask yourself, the person of me who has the has the skin that I want, how would they look in the mirror? And then you want to consciously do that. I know you said you break down every time, but you're going to have to make the decision to think of it from the new perspective and be like, oh wow, look at my amazing skin, look how clear it is, look at like XYZ, and make that conscious decision to think of it in a new light. And you're going to continue to do that until it hardens into fact. Utilizing the morning and the night will make it easier for your subconscious mind to be impressed. And as you go along, it will happen. You absolutely can manifest like that. You just need to make the decision not to react in the way that your current you reacts, but instead react in the way that your desired version of you will react. And then you just keep going until it hardens.
So I have a couple of things. So I personally also in the past have had bad skin that I didn't like. I've also had very recently like I thought very, very horrible hair that I really did not like. And I also broke down every time I looked in the mirror. So I did a couple of things for me personally, and I now really like my hair. I haven't risked dyeing it again because, you know, I don't want it to do what it did last time. But I did a few things that I think might possibly help. So the initial breakdown, when it does happen, step yourself away from the mirror and just calm down for a minute. Go back to the mirror and then tell yourself that you're beautiful. Tell yourself your skin's perfect, that your hair is long, and that's the one that I use, that everything about you is beautiful. You love everything about yourself. And that breakdown a minute ago was not about yourself. That was just something else. But right now, you love yourself. Everything is brilliant. The thing that I did with my skin personally is I was using certain products on my skin every day that I don't know whether they had anything to do with how my skin looked or anything like that, but I decided that that was the reason why they looked so terrible. I was like, that's it. That's the reason why I keep getting spots. That's the reason why my skin has gone all blotchy. And I just threw it away. And so I sort of, I guess, assigned that that was the cause of my bad skin. I then bought a very cheap, very basic, I literally think it might have been like £3 face cream. And I was like, this is it. This is the fix. This is what will fix my skin. And I don't think that the product itself had anything to do with the fact that my skin was then fixed, but that fixed my skin because I was like, right, that is what's going to do it. There you go. And it was literally like £3. And I just put that on instead. And I don't think it's even a good product because it was so cheap. It was just a water-based face cream, basically. But I had decided that that was what was going to fix my skin. Therefore, I did. So there's just a few little tips on how I fixed certain things that I did not like about my appearance.
Yeah. Mrs. Foxy says, I'm glad to join and support. Love your channel. Thank you very much for the kind words. It's very nice of you. Verge says, how do you stay in the wish fulfilled? I meditate in the morning and evening, enter the state of the wish fulfilled and feel confident, but at daytime, I still feel anxious. So the way that I do it during the daytime, and I keep saying it's just the way that I find to be the best, is ask yourself, how does the desired version of you think, feel, and act? And then you consciously think, feel, and act in that way. It just puts you in the state. Obviously, some people use like the affirmations and stuff to get themselves there, but it's just a case of redirecting focus back to the end result. You don't necessarily have to stay in it. Obviously, if you can, it would be better for you, but you don't necessarily have to stay in it. It's just a case of redirecting your focus back to it so you're in it more than you're not, basically, or at least your subconscious mind is being impressed with it more than it's not. And just do that regularly throughout the day. Just redirect focus, ask yourself how you think, feel, and act if you were this version, and then think, feel, and act in that way. Is that a T? Ati says, what to do if you are not feeling the feeling of affirmations, like I am the priority, or I am not able to create any situation in my mind where I am the priority, but I know this is the self-concept issue which needs to be worked on. So it might be a case of the feeling as in what you're saying just might not spark it to you. It's like I am the priority, in my opinion, is kind of like a bland affirmation. I tend to be a bit more wordy with my affirmations. So if I was that, I would say something like, I prioritize myself, and as a result, other people prioritize me too. Bit more wordy, and I know it's obviously placing the onus on you being the priority, but self-concept is all about putting you first. And a lot of the time, people say stuff and then do the complete opposite. They'll say, I am the priority, and then they'll go and put someone else's feelings above their own. So in my opinion, you don't feel it because it's a bland statement. Like, I am rich. All right, great. Or it feels so amazing to finally be able to buy anything I want because of the amount of money that I earn. Bit more wordy, but a lot more impactful in my opinion. So maybe try playing around with changing the wordings a bit, giving a bit more description and kind of feeling into it a bit more. And as for self-concept, you can just step into the new version. If you want to be prioritized, then you better start putting yourself as the priority. If someone's not putting you as the priority, cut them off for a bit until they just show up as the desired result. And it will start to happen because you're putting yourself first. And because of everyone as you pushed out, they'll start to put you first too. Juicy Jewel says, oh, thank you, Katie. Really helpful.
You're welcome.
Oh, it skipped. Mandeep says, my SP who is everything without the label because he's worried he can't accept my daughter. My SP who is everything without the label because he's worried he can't accept anything. Okay. I cut him off. He's back, but not conformed. He just wants to be friends, and I don't want to be friends. Advice: go to the end, create the end result. What do you want from him? Obviously, I'd assume everything that he was, but accepting your daughter. So go to the end result, create the scenes and statements that imply that it's true, and impress your subconscious mind with them by redirecting focus back to that already being the case. He right now is not your desired version, therefore he does not deserve the attention. The desired version of him deserves your attention. So replace your focus on that version and like redirect it regularly until he conforms. Nath says, wins though, got a new car and a new job after being in college for 2 years now, an electrician. That's awesome. Good job.
Well done.
Jade Lamb says, lol, thanks Katie for correcting him with how to say my last name. He actually said my last name correct in Chinese. See, I didn't get it wrong. I was just Chinese in for a bit.
Sorry.
But yeah, apologies. I will try to read it right next time. I'm pretty sure there is a Jade Lynn though. I'm almost certain there's a Jade Lynn. Aquarius Child says, when manifesting an SP, can they feel our attracting them? Like in the 3D, there's no movement, but I always wonder if they feel anything. Yeah, things will start getting put into place and they will eventually conform to it, and they're feeling it. Trust me, they're feeling it. Jade Lamb says, just like my comment last week, play The Sims might help with the visualization. And from 10/18/22, The Sims base game is free for anyone to play. Oh, 18/10. So yeah, because ours is the other way around. So as of the 18th of 10th. We get it free anyway because of the EA Play thing. Yeah. But yeah.
But we loads of expansion packs on it too.
Yeah, I'm so stupid with money. I've spent like 500 quid on Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the past like month and a half.
I've only 100.
Yeah, it's bad. And we only have like 40 cards that we use.
Well, the thing is you need to get more cards. This is the thing, and then it's not our fault that they're not usable.
I know, and I've bought more cards.
Although actually, that time where I stood there for ages and I was like holding my hands over all of the tins, right? And I was like, I'm going to know which one I need. I'm going to know which one I need. And then I got one with 10 usable cards in. 10 cards that we could add to our decks.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, I like the idea of creating the Sims thing. I think it's an interesting concept to maybe play around with. Winter Kai, I haven't seen you in a while. Howdy. Dropping in to say hi before I go to bed. Continue your good work, Matt. Thank you very much for the kind words, and thank you for stopping in. Hopefully we'll catch you in the next live. Rosary said, thank you for your advices. You are very welcome. Ati says, thank you for your advice. Really helpful. You're very welcome. Voyage says, love your channel with 3 hearts. Thank you very much for the kind words. Glad to have your support. And Verge says, thank you very much. You are the best. Thank you very much, Verge. It's very kind of you to say. Right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up to this live stream. As I said, if you're interested in any personalized tarot readings, if you're from the UK, any wax melts or any like kind of spellsy stuff, check out Katie's Etsy, which will be in the links after this has gone live.
Some of them aren't actually on the Etsy right now, so maybe just
if you're interested in any personal stuff, message Katie.
message my wax melt page.
Yeah. If you're interested in the second channel of mine, obviously links will be below. If you're interested in coaching me,
I definitely just very quickly need to say, go and watch his push-up video, because where he sped it up, it's like
it looks ridiculous.
Really funny.
And when you do go like it.
And then he does this random little leg dance halfway through, he just sticks his leg out sideways. But yeah.
But yeah, so go check out the second channel if you're interested. If you're interested in any coaching, by all means, check out my website. We will be doing some discounts soon for like a Halloween thing, where we're going to try and incorporate purchasing maybe a personalized tarot thing, and then you'll get like a percentage off of my thing, which will be more beneficial for you money wise, and it helps both of our businesses because the reviews for Katie will get her pushed up on Etsy, and there's a whole bunch of things. So they will be coming up soon. If you have any suggestions on like discounts or bundles or whatever we could do, always up for hearing them. Juicy Jules says, thank you guys, much appreciated. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much. You too.
Also, just very quickly, if you have any suggestions for like my channel at all, like if any of you are actually interested in any of it, let me know, because I'm like just starting and seeing what, like putting the feelers out, and like certain things don't do well on certain channels. So like, what is it that doesn't do well on YouTube? I can't remember. Something didn't really do very well on YouTube, but it did really, really well on TikTok. So it's like trying to work it out. But if you have any advice or suggestions, let me know.
Rick Farr says, thank you. You're very welcome. So yeah, with all of the selling ourselves out of the way, thank you all for showing up. Oh, Mrs. Foxy says something. Does she have her own channel for us gals on leveling up and mindset like you have for men? Unfortunately, not yet.
No.
But I guarantee that I will convince her to soon.
Do you?
I do.
Do you?
I do. Yeah, sorry about that. I would obviously do one myself, but I would not be very good advice for how to conduct yourself as a female. So, but yeah, thank you everyone for showing up.
Maybe I can tell you what to say and then you say it.
Yeah, I'll speak for you.
Yeah.
Miss Foxy said that would be lovely. I'll convince her. I'll talk to her about it. Have a good evening and rest of your days and mornings and everything, everyone. And we will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Ready to open down.